A Battle Built here with another video, and today we're getting some more Great League Go Battle League battles. Look, today's not a Twitch video. We actually have a submission from a fellow PvPer of the community by the name of Owen Mulvaney. And before we jump into any battles and before we discuss anything, I want to shout him out because he's also a fellow YouTuber getting his channel started. I'm going to leave the link to his YouTube channel in the description of this video. I highly recommend you check out his channel and his videos and his battles because he runs a lot of spice. He does a great job with his videos, and I highly recommend it. Now, let's talk about the team comp he's got here. He's running Politoed. Now, it's not January 11th yet. This is still pre-buff, or really pre-Politoed getting access to Water Weather Ball. So we're going to be checking out I'm going to call it pre-buff Politoed with the moveset of Mudshot, Surf, and Legacy Earthquake in some Great League Go Battle League battles. And this is a Spice team with a little bit of a Spice moveset. He's running Toxicroak, which is pretty common, but he has Dynamic Punch on it. And he's actually running Magneton also on this team of 3, which is extremely Spice. And then I guess Politoed as the closer, again with the Legacy move. No Weather Ball yet. I promise you, when Politoed does get access to it in a couple days, I will definitely have a set of battles and a team and a video on that. So now let's check out these battles. Let's jump into them. I'm really excited about the set of battles because it's time to assess how good is Politoed now, so that when it gets access to Weather Ball, it'll improve, because Water Weather Ball is definitely a better move than Surf. And also, guys, if you don't mind and you enjoy this Spice content, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We just passed 5,000 subscribers in the channel, which is extremely exciting to me. And honestly, we've grown so much over like the past week or two, and it's mostly because I keep on really asking you guys at the beginning of the video to like, comment, subscribe. It really goes a long way in supporting me continue to do this. So I would really appreciate that. Now, let's get into this battle. He had a positive lead. They safe swapped him to Gallade, and he kept him to Gallade, and he also threw a Dynamic Punch, which were some unique plays in my eyes. I probably would have swapped immediately into Magneton when that Gallade had come in. But the opponent's Switch Timer shouldn't be up, just considering how quickly that whole turn of events went. And he's able to line up his Politoed with this Galarian Stunfisk. Now, Politoed is definitely a counter with this moveset to Galarian Stunfisk, and obviously Galarian Stunfisk is a huge Metamon. He decides to shield here, unfortunately gets baited, and then they swap out, and his opponent has a Kanto Muk. So we're seeing a lot of spice in this set. Also, these battles are, I think, sped up a little bit more than usual. So if my commentating is off, I apologize. But I also think that there's going to be more than 5 battles here, too. Owen definitely told me he had a lot of success with this team. I don't know how many battles he ended up submitting, so we're just going to find out together. I'm excited to watch through all of them because I really want to see Politoed in action, and I'm really excited for it to get access to Weather Ball because I think it'll become like a legit meta pick there. So, okay, throws a Surf, gets his opponent's last shield, swaps into Magneton, which hopefully if these Magnet Bombs do enough damage, they look like they're going to, even though they're resisted. Wow, because Magneton's going to take double super effective from Galarian Stunfisk's Mudshots. So the fact that he was able to farm the way he did, get off both those Magnet Bombs, gets the Stunfisk's health really low, forces a charge move, ends up being a whole Earthquake, which was super extra, and then the Politoed can come in and Mudshot down for him to win the first match. So already off to a pretty solid start. You'll notice, Politoed's just going to enter the Mudboy gang with Swampert, with Whiscash, with Seismitoad. I don't really Seismitoad doesn't really exist. But also, for your just in case you didn't know, Politoed is just a pure water type, so it doesn't get the resistance to electric, unfortunately, so it's not like a true mud boy, but at least it doesn't take double super effective from grass. I guess that's a positive. But alright, getting to this next match. I think he had Toxicroak on Venusaur. He swapped into Magneton. Is that what happened here? I wouldn't have swapped out. I probably would have stayed in the Toxicroak matchup with Venusaur. But okay, Magneton here isn't a bad matchup. That Magnet Bomb did a lot of damage. Magneton's going to resist all of Venusaur's moves with this Frenzy Plant doing resisted damage. But Magneton is extremely glassy, so even though that was resisted, it pretty much one-shot the Magneton there. And do you commit shield here? No, he's not going to shield this Frenzy Plant. Sludge Bomb? That should have been a Frenzy Plant. Very questionable. Then they come into Galarian Stunfisks, and he's going for a Dynamic Punch when Mud Bomb would have been super effective, but Mud Bomb wouldn't have one-shot like that. So I guess that's some unique use of having Dynamic Punch as the moveset. And then on top of it, there's a Shadow Machamp in the bag. He's going up against a fairly meta team, not going to lie. And gets the opponent's last shield, swaps into his Politoed, has a shield. That Machamp was farming for months. I don't know where that Machamp's energy was because they should have thrown by now. Maybe they're trying to build the 2 cross chops, but that ends up biting them. Venusaur comes in, and apparently even without Weather Ball, Politoed's a Venusaur counter confirmed. I kid. But that was a crazy battle. Okay, let's get into the next one. Toxicroak into Whimsicott. Is this Razor Leaf or a Charm? He assumes Charm, immediately swaps to the Magneton. They're staying in. Huge misplay by the opponent unless they literally don't have an answer for the Magneton in the back, lets a Magnet Bomb get through, and then is able to Thunder Shock down. Those charms did add up just because, again, Magneton's really glassy. And then they come in with Azumarill, so they literally didn't have an answer for Magneton. Okay, also, one thing I do want to I want you to all take note of before I hear in the comments section. These are some veteran ranked battles. So, you know, you're going to run into some people running meta teams that are skilled. You're going to run into some people that are running meta teams aren't as skilled. And you're going to run into some weird teams also. But honestly, Whimsicott Azumarill isn't too off meta. The opponent apparently just was not ready for Magneton. And that's the excitement you get when you decide to play around with some spice. So please do keep that clear before... Yeah, keep that clear. Make sure that's clear before you start giving me hate in the comment section. I want to check out some spice. I want to see it in some action. And I hope you guys are able to enjoy it also. Alright, so... Swapping the Toxicroak, takes an Ice Beam. Unfortunately, does not have Sludge Bomb. This is definitely a matchup you want Sludge Bomb for. But because of the Azumarill's health where it was at... Mud Bomb is plenty, so he's able to take it out. The last Pokemon is going to be a Skarmory. Can he get to the Mud Bomb? Unfortunately, falls short, but his Politoed has a ton of health, and he has a shield, so he can shield this. Most likely going to be a Sky Attack. I doubt you go for the Brave Bird here and debuff yourself. So they get the shield from him, but I'm sure Politoed could survive. Sky Attack? Sorry, I was like... drawing a blank there, and honestly just needs to get the 2 Surfs and should win this match. I feel like Politoed's going to hang on just barely. Also, one other thing I want you to take note of for when Politoed does get buffed is that giving it access to Weather Ball, you might not necessarily need to use a Legacy TM on Earthquake. I've been hearing around having Blizzard, which is a move that Politoed already has access to instead of using your Elite TM to get Earthquake, gives it some play against its counters and can really come in clutch, whereas like Earthquake would be super effective against the Galarian Stunfisks and like Fire types and whatnot, but I am stuttering. Would be super effective against those types of Pokemon, but he does have Mud Shot and Surf to go up in those situations. And even going up against Steel types, Mud Shot would be super effective, and Surf doing that neutral damage, or Weather Ball when it comes out, will be spammy enough to probably still allow it to counter those Steel types really well. So just something for you to keep in mind when Politoed does get buffed on January 11th at like 4 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know what that time that is, your time zone. But for when that happens, don't think you need to immediately jump into using an Elite TM. Okay, as I'm trying to give information, I'm losing track of what's going on in these matches. All I know is I think he lost the lead here with Toxicroak on Galvantula, which makes sense. He didn't commit both his shields, but he did just commit it there with his Magneton in. Throws a Magnet Bomb, takes out the Galvantula, and then they come in with a Sunny Cherrim, which has access to Fire Weather Ball, which would be super effective against Magneton, so it makes sense. But those Magnet Bombs are going to hurt. He tried to pull a swap to catch the Weather Ball. Unfortunately, not able to. You could see because he clicked on the swap button. But now he really needs to get to this Surf and hope that it takes out Cherrim's remaining health, because if the Cherrim is able to get to a Solar Beam, it's going to one-shot the Politoed. They do get to a charge move, but that was pretty quick. I highly doubt this is a Solar Beam. Should just be a Weather Ball. It is just a Weather Ball. Barely does anything. Able to Mud Shot down. What is the opponent's last Pokemon going to be? It's going to be a full health Azumarill. In this case, honestly though, this is a situation where you would want to have Earthquake over Blizzard, because if you're running both Surf and Blizzard, then you literally have no hard-hitting neutral moves that you can throw at the Azumarill. Unfortunately, in this situation, Politoed is not set up for success here and is not going to be able to get off enough Earthquakes to take out the Azumarill. This Earthquake is going to just fall short and get the Azumarill in the red, but he's going to lose his first match. But he's won like the other 2 or 3, so you know what? He's having some success with Spice, and that's exciting all by itself. And we're about halfway through the clip, so maybe this is 2 sets. This might be 2 sets. So we'll see how these continue to go. Okay, getting to this next match, really positive lead. Is this the famous? Yes, it's looking like it. It definitely is. Once you have Bastiodon and a Razor Leafer, it's officially Grasshole. He safe swaps into Magneton to match the Shadow Victory Bell. Actually, it's not even a Shadow. It's just a regular Victory Bell. And I wonder if that's going to allow... Ooh, I wonder if that allowed for an extra Magnet Bomb to come through. And do you end up shielding both of them? The opponent ends up shielding both of them. Gonna commit to the Razor Leaf down. Definitely needs to come back into Toxicroak. Gonna have to shield whatever move this is going to be. Could be an Acid Spray because it got a lot of Razor Leafs. It is an Acid Spray. Got a lot of Razor Leafs in against that Magneton. But the question becomes, how do you want to play this? Are you able to play out of it? Takes out the Victory Bell. Is it double Razor Leaf? It's not double Razor Leaf. It's a Mew. So it not being double Razor Leaf is going to be clutch here. And that's a lot of Grasshole variants. Not everybody just goes double Razor Leaf Bastiodon. Dragon Claw on Mew. That's quite the moveset. They swap into Bastiodon. I guess they were probably praying that he didn't have Earthquake, but he does. And I really feel like this is going to one-shot the Bastion at full health. It doesn't, but that's even better because there's Mudshot farm, and once the Mew comes back in, gonna land another Earthquake. So this is a situation where having Earthquake allows us to wrap this matchup a lot quicker, but honestly, the Mudshots and the combination of Surfs, we're gonna do solid damage, and I'm pretty confident would have won this matchup regardless. I don't know. Might have taken more would have taken more damage from the Smackdowns. The opponent might have gotten to a Stone Edge on their Bastion. So maybe having Earthquake there is definitely more of the play. But again, we can weigh that. We can see how many situations where the Politoed runs in. Yeah, this is one set, but he's got another set for us. We can see if there are going to be any situations where he would have preferred to have Blizzard. So far, we haven't seen any of those situations. So maybe you do want to invest Legacy TM, but that's what this whole video is for, to see pre-buff and see how good Politoed can be. And honestly, I'm quite impressed. So the more and more I see it go off here with this moveset, the more and more excited I'm going to be when Politoed gets Weather Ball, Water Weather Ball, and can use that over Surf. All right, this next matchup has a positive lead. They swap into Azumarill. He swaps in his Magneton. A little slow, but as long as it's not a Hydro Pump, Magneton will resist all charge moves coming through. Because of a slow swap, he decides to shield the first move. Unfortunately, gets baited by an Ice Beam. Gonna get this Discharge off. Gonna do super effective damage. I don't think it would take out Azumarill's remaining health, because Discharge isn't a bad move, but Azumarill's just so bulky. Gets to another Discharge here. Puts the Azumarill in the red. Will he be able to Thunder Shock down? Let's find out. Is this going to be a Hydro Pump? Are they even running Hydro Pump? Ends up being another Ice Beam. Looks like he's going to be able to Thunder Shock down with his Magneton. Takes out the Azumarill. Has a charge move. Galarian Sunfist comes back in. Going to be able to farm the Magneton down, but Magneton does get off the Magnet Bomb. That's a whole sentence and a half, and then goes into Politoed here to completely Mudshot down. Probably wanted to keep Toxicroak alive just because you don't want to use the energy, and an Earthquake is something Politoed could survive, whereas, oh, that's GG. Whereas Toxicroak would have taken super effective damage and got one shot by the Earthquake. One shot the Shift Tree there. So that was clutch. Alright, let's get into this next match. All popping up. They're going for a charge move here. I don't think that was way too early for it to be an Earthquake. I think should have let that go through, honestly. Just because Rock Slide be resisted. No reason to be too worried about that coming through. Gonna throw this Mud Bomb. Gets the opponent's shields. Gonna counter away some more. This feels too early to be an Earthquake also. This opponent's not even building up to it. They throw another Rock Slide. Puts a Toxicroak in the yellow. Honestly, should just commit to the counter down. Great play on Owen's part. They come in with Skarmory, and honestly, this is a positive. This is one spot where you would want to have Dynamic Punch because that deals neutral damage. Mud Bomb would be single resisted. Sludge Bomb would have been double resisted. Takes out half of the Skarmory's health. Can come into Magneton, their last two Pokemon. Wow, this Magneton, this Spice Magneton might be like, you know, the feature of the video also. Coming in clutch here because it would resist the Skarmory's moves, and then has a great matchup against Azumarill on top of the fact that it has energy advantage. Magneton is going to sweep this back line. Politoed doesn't even need to do anything here. Throws a Discharge, puts the Azumarill in the yellow. He tried to swap the catcher move, but honestly, I think can just shield this and commit to winning out this match with specifically Magneton. It's a good thing. Oh, okay. Decides to swap in the Politoed anyway. I was like, it's a good thing the swap didn't get queued, but I guess wants to save that Discharge for the Skarmory in the back just in case. But honestly, Politoed would have had a positive matchup against the Skarmory considering its health range, so he was fine either which way he decided he wanted to play out this match. Gonna throw the Surf. Does take out the Azumarill with that health. I know it's resistant. Surf's not the best move, so I was like, maybe it won't. Maybe it'll survive like 1 HP. Throws back-to-back Surfs and takes out both the Azumarill and the Skarmory to win this match. Honestly, these are just fun to watch. So I hope my commentating's been all right, but I hope you guys honestly just enjoy watching the Spice. I do want to bring, you know, a multitude of content when it comes to this stuff, and this is quite the creative team. And not every match, like I said, is being played perfectly, so please take that into consideration. And it's just, I hope we're enjoying the battles. Alright, next match, Toxicroak on Galvantula lead. Unfortunately, shields a lunge there, which debuffs him. Gonna get to this next Mud Bomb before the Galvantula gets to another charge move. This will probably get the Galvantula's next shield. I feel like Galvantulas always play out the 2 shields against Toxicroaks. Especially because at this point, honestly, the Galvantula could have Volt Switched down. And that's what the Galvantula should have done. It was a good play on his part by not shielding that. Gonna come in with the Magneton. The Galvantula will probably get to another charge move here. Could throw either the Magnet Bomb or the Discharge. I could be wrong. I do think they're both similar stat-wise as charge moves. Somebody correct me in the comment section if I am wrong. And both are singular resisted by the Galvantula. He decides to go for the Magnet Bomb here. This will take out the Galvantula's remaining health. And the opponent's last Pokemon is a Hex Marowak. Not, oh my, okay, this is another, maybe you want to invest that Elite TM to get Earthquake, because this is a clutch situation to have Earthquake in, because you have Blizzard, you're not one-shotting that Empoleon, you're taking a bunch of damage. The Marowak comes back in, gonna throw maybe a Shadow Bone, because it has Hex, get into it pretty quickly. Honestly, needs to go for Surf here, not gonna get to the Earthquake before the Marowak gets to another Shadow Bone. Very heads-up play throw on the Surf, gets the Marowak really low, and honestly, it not having Fire Spin isn't the end of the world, because Fire Spin wasn't going to take out the Politoed. The Marowak was going to have to throw 2 moves, and the Fire Spins weren't going to, like, completely chunk the Magneton down. So this still works out nicely, whether the Marowak had Hex or Fire Spin, and is able to take out a little Marowak with a Magneton. Quite the gameplay there. Okay, getting into the next match. Toxicroak on a Medicham lead. This one's such a weird matchup just because they both resist, but they also have different typings. Like, obviously, if Medicham lands like a Psychic, it's going to be super effective, but this was way too early. Ends up just being a power-up punch, which is going to be resisted, but these counters are going to do more damage. He decides to go for the Dynamic Punch. I know that Mud Bomb's not getting stabbed. Dynamic Punch is. Maybe he wasn't expecting his opponent to shield or was hoping they wouldn't. But I feel like the safest play is to go straight Mud Bomb here just because it's neutral damage. So even if Dynamic Punch ends up being better DPE when resisted, because sometimes stab moves are, that's information I don't know off the top of my head, just because I'm not seeing a bunch of Toxicroaks using Dynamic Punch. But, you know what? He won out the one shield, so maybe I'm just wrong. I mean, it also probably takes into consideration just the fact that, the Medicham might power-up punch. But he keeps on throwing Dynamic Punches. Gets another shield. They were expecting the Sludge Bomb, so that works out regardless of what move he threw. Comes in with Magneton. This is way too quick to be a Hydro Pump. Should be an Ice Beam or a Play Rough. Ends up being a resisted Ice Beam. Doesn't do much. They come in with a Registeel. Another great... That's a Metal Claw Registeel. Like I said, I hope we're enjoying the spice. That is a Metal Claw Registeel. Oh my lord. Even with lock on, it wasn't. Oh, okay. Even with lock on, wasn't mattering. But because he has Earthquake with Surf, and the Registeel having, if he would have had Surf Blizzard, and the Registeel would have had lock on, then maybe this would have been a bit of a tighter matchup. But with Earthquake, it didn't matter what quick move that Registeel had. That was something in itself. That was quite the sight to see. Hopefully that opponent sees my video and knows to change their Registeel's fast move to lock on and not Metal Claw. What was Metal Claw? Does Registeel have access to Metal Claw? What was that? Had to be, right? Somebody correct me. Was that Metal Claw? It was not lock on. I'll tell you that much. Alright, getting this next matchup. Has a Toxicroak on Azumarill lead. And honestly, Toxicroak on Azumarill isn't really a negative lead unless you're running Dynamic Punch instead of Sludge Bomb. So he's going to definitely need to bluff the Sludge Bomb. Is getting the shields, which is huge. Has no intentions of committing to his Toxicroak. Probably just hoping he can leave the situation like a 2-shield to no-shield advantage. Throwing another Mud Bomb there. The opponent ends up shielding both of them. So it ends up being clutch because now he can come in with his Magneton. And it has been doing a lot of work against these Azumarills that we've been seeing. They almost CMP tied there. I think he just was like a half turn short of getting to his discharge because there's no way that Azumarill wins CMP over Magneton. Because of that, though, ends up over-farming a bit instead, taking out the Azumarill with a discharge. Comes in with Politoed. Okay. Scratch. Well, I guess Blizzard would be super effective against Stunfisk. I was going to say that has come in so clutch in these matches, but Blizzard would have been super effective against... Oh, he has no shields. Okay. I was like, he's going for the Surf here. Guess doesn't want to take the chance. I don't see a Stone Edge taking out the Politoed from this health, but better safe than sorry. Pulls off a really good swap there to catch what should be a Stone Edge on his Magneton. Is a Stone Edge. Gonna potentially get smackdown. It's a terrible phrasing of words, but gets off this Magnet Bomb, neutral damage, gets the Bastiodon really low, and is able to get to another Magnet Bomb before the Bastiodon can smack it down. That's a better way to put that together. And that ends up being the last match of this set, and those were 2 sets. I don't know if those were 10 battles. I wasn't really counting. But we saw a lot of unique play here on both ends, but there were a lot of meta teams, a lot of good plays in these set of matches. Owen, thank you so much for the submission. It was really awesome to see the Politoed in action before the buff. I can only imagine how much better it's going to be. Let me know in the comment section if you think Politoed's going to be worth the Elite Charge TM for Earthquake, or you're going to test it out with Blizzard. I might test it out with both and try to give you guys some results and answers there. And honestly, Magneton was kind of like a secondary MVP, maybe even the MVP of this set. I was quite impressed and was not expecting any of that. But on that note, please let me know what you thought of these battles, and let me know what you thought of these Pokemon in some Go Battle League battles. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, check out Owen's channel. He does a ton of Spice battles and Spice sets that I highly recommend you go and watch and check out. And I will see you all in the next video.